What's up, guys? Week 1, video 2. Will Levis. I had really high hopes for Will Levis coming into this season, really high consequent hopes for the Titans, and they kind of crashed and burned in dramatic, catastrophic, and nightmarish, for bettors, fashion week 1 against the Bears in my hometown of Chicago, just down the road. That being said, I wanted to go back and watch the All-22 to see how Will Levis did, and I don't think he did as bad as I originally believed. A little bit of All-22 goes a long way, and I feel like I understand what happened a lot better. So, if you just want summary and opinion, skip to the end. But for now, let me show you. Let's get to the film. All right, first pass of the game, and watch the right tackle, Petit Frere, here just get eaten alive. Levis does a really nice job to sidestep and avoid some pressure, but if you look, nobody's really particularly open. You've got the curl to the top of the screen. You got the comeback at the top of the screen on the level above it, around the 35-yard line. But both of those are kind of difficult throws. It's the very first throw of the season. Just dump it off, get the completion. That's fine, and it's dropped. That's a routine throw. It is not Levis's fault, and alas, he is punished anyway. On to snap 2. Top of his drop. Already got pressure because J.C. Latham gets beaten with speed. 11 at the top of the screen is open, or maybe it's 0. I can't tell. I think it's Calvin Ridley either way. Can he get the ball out? Terrible throw. I don't know what was going on with that release. Let's watch it again. See right here, he kind of like does this weird half measure. That's not his typical throwing motion. That's really bad. Don't do that. Don't alter your mechanics. Don't panic. Bad throw, routine throw to start. Not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. Here we go. He actually got some decent protection. Nobody's open. There's not enough time for the mesh to set up, but he gets the ball out routine. It's not great on a third down, but that's what the play was designed for, and he got something out of it. Here, a little play action boot, routine. To this point, Levis has done exactly what's asked of him, which is almost nothing. It's nothing to write home about, but it's certainly not a problem, right? Again, that one, I perked up when I saw that, because it's 5 yards downfield, and to this point, it's the first pass beyond the line of scrimmage, really. A lot of routine passes. It's all accurate. It's all easy. It's nothing to get excited about. So far, we're unable to give him a grade on any of these plays substantially. Now here, we have to look at the progression, because Will Levis takes a negative run, right? Here's the top of his drop. Here's what he's looking at when he has to decide what he should throw. The protection's pretty decent. You should get the ball out to Tyler Boyd at the bottom of the screen. Yes, it's a flat. No, it's not sexy, but he's open, and you got to keep the ball moving. If you're going to wait until this point, you see that the defensive end has officially beaten J.C. Latham. A common theme, by the way. J.C. Latham played terribly. He was a bad pick, and I think that that'll continue to manifest itself. I hope he develops, because it would be nice if the Titans became the team I thought they would be, but it looks like he's going to be a disaster anyway. At this point, once Levis breaks from this tackle, which it's a really good job to not get sacked here, plus pocket movement, good job holding onto the ball, you've got another rusher in your face, just bail out of there as he does. But right here, when he pulls this ball down, 85, the tight end, I think that's Chigakonkwo, he's wide open. You got to get him that ball. It's a touchdown. I understand that you can't at this exact moment, so I would like to see Levis pull this ball down exactly as he does, evade this tackle exactly as he does, reset here, right? As soon as he breaks those, he's looking to run. And I understand you've got a guy coming from your blind side, right? 52 is now behind Levis running towards him. Instead of pulling the ball down and immediately running, if he would have kept his eyes up, remembered that he had an open receiver running a corner, loft that ball to the back of the end zone. Worst case scenario, it's going out the back of the end zone. Best case scenario, you have a touchdown. Instead, he runs, nothing doing. It's a negative run, but it's 2+ pocket movements. It's a pretty neutral play. A great quarterback makes the play I described, but I don't think any of us expected Will Levis to be a great quarterback in this game. Maybe one day, but not today, on the first game of his second season. Here, aborted screen, that's a throwaway, nothing to see. So, scoring drive, but nothing truly impressive from Will Levis just yet. Again, this is another screen. There's not a real read here. You see half the offensive line standing to the left doing nothing. It's because this is a designed screen. Can't get the ball through. This is a throwaway. Good job, Levis. Routine, and it's dropped. Nice. This is the first, legitimately nice throw from Will Levis. Top of his drop. You see Skoronski is holding up very well. You see Latham hasn't actually been engaged by his edge rusher yet, so that's why he's held up. And again, this is where Levis decides to make the throw. So decent anticipation. I'd like to see it a tiny, tiny bit earlier, but because he's got that cannon of an arm, he can get away with it. That's a great throw. 17, 18 yards down the field, extreme zip, excellent throw to move the chains. Will Levis's first positive throw of the season. I love to see it. Here, this is actually really well done as well. Top of the drop. No time to no time to think, but no time to panic either. Gets the ball out just before the pressure hits, and he actually stops his receiver, preventing Pollard from running face first into a defender who would kill him. Really good job. That's arguably a good throw. Top of the drop. Weird, janky drop back. Here, you got to hit the streak at the top of the screen. Great job by Levis to understand what he's looking at. That's an excellent read because he could have taken the easy play and hit a 15-yard throw to 83 right there. Is that Boyd? I don't know. I'm still getting used to the Titans' numbers. But boy, is that a bad throw. Great processing. Finally gets protection. That ball needs to be halfway through the end zone. And he short arms it. Where do you let that ball go from? A little under the 50. He's not being really hit. He needs, the whole point of Will Levis is that he has a cannon of an arm, right? That's half the attraction. So if his cannon arm is dying 45 yards downfield, something is very, very wrong. It's a terrible throw. It's interceptable. I don't like it. And that's just purely a matter of not putting enough arm into the ball, right? And that's weird because it's the one thing you think you can trust Will Levis to do. That's a routine screen. Top of the drop. Great job stepping up. Decent job to run. That's a positive run. Good job. Let's see what he could have hit. Yeah, I mean, you could throw a freaking laser and gun it to Ridley on his back shoulder at the 30-yard line. I hope he catches it. Nobody else is particularly open. And he sees that he's got 20 yards of space before the next defender right up the middle. Good decision to run. He could have made a very difficult throw to Ridley, but it would have been really hard to execute, and the benefit would have been about the same. So that's a positive run and a good decision. Screen routine. Here, this is a designed run, and Levis should have done more of this. I understand he got hurt, but he should have done more of this. That's a positive run. Good job. Little motion. We know we've got zone. We know we're playing the Bears, so it's almost certainly cover 2. What do you got for us? Oh, he even gets the jump off sides. You love the idea. You don't love the execution. Right? You know it's offside, so you know you've got a free shot to the end zone. You should throw anything up that you can. And here, he's about to get hit, so he kind of just lobs it. And it's not the most accurately lobbed ball. You could argue it's DPI because the defensive back pushes the receiver out the end zone. But it's not a negative play. It's actually, I gave him a slight bonus just for understanding that he had a DPI on his hands. And here, nice touchdown. Love to see it. So here's the tight copy. Top of the drop. Nice little pocket. J.C. Latham getting beaten again, obviously, but he's got help from Skoronski, who's also getting beaten. This offensive line is in shambles. while getting hit. Nice throw. I actually struggle to grade this one because I can't tell where exactly he's trying to put it. Right? Like, you have outside up leverage, but the cornerback did overrun it. Puts the ball nice and high, lets the tight end body the cornerback. I don't know if that was totally intentional. I think I graded it as great upon, on the broadcast view, but now upon further review, looking at the tight copy, I mean, it's 25, 30, it's a 35-yard downfield throw. It's catchable. He gave him a contested catch, catchable ball. I don't know. I'm a little sympathetic. Let's call it great. I think that's the right thing to do. It is a 35-yard touchdown while getting hit. 35 yards is typically an elite throw anyway, so we're already downgrading it a bit. Great throw plus pocket movement. That's the final verdict. All right, we're back from the touchdown. Nice little routine throw. Levis is starting to develop a little bit of a rhythm. Like to see it. Lots of checks at the line. That's good to see. It shows he knows what's going on, but I don't know exactly what the checks are, so I'm not going to read into it too much. Here, nice big positive run. Let's see what he was looking at the top of the drop. Nothing particularly attractive that I want him to necessarily be throwing to. And again, look at all that space up the middle. Good decision to run. Probably should have slid. I think, and mark this down, we're at the 10:50-ish point of the video. I think this is where we begin to see Levis play a little bit worse, shall we say. And, we saw he had the heating pad on over his pads in between snaps for the rest of the game. Might have not been feeling so good. This throw will kill me because this is a large part of the reason that I was excited about Will Levis in 2024 is that his 2023 tape showed excellent deep ball accuracy. And it was a small sample size, so maybe he doesn't actually possess that. Maybe it was just a fluke. And here, lands that thing out of bounds. That was a touchdown. That was the game right there, and he missed. And he was 0 for 2 on deep balls in this game. And again, the purpose of Will Levis is deep balls. That's a routine throw, but it's nothing I'm going to get excited about. Great job to step up in the pocket, but then he throws the ball away. Right? I mean, this is what he's looking at his back of his drop, and he's already being pressured because Skoronski's getting beaten like a drum. And hey, J.C. Latham is also getting beaten like a drum. So Levis has to step up. He throws while being hit. I'm pretty sure he was just throwing it away. Good job to throw it away towards receivers, so that's not a penalty. But a throwaway nonetheless with a plus pocket movement. The man was being destroyed. The offensive line was no better this year than it was last year. I won't give him too much of an excuse because that was the case for a lot of guys. But right here, got to hit this quick slant. I know you got dudes in your face. I know you're going to get hit, and I know you're already hurting, but that is the job. You get the paychecks, got to earn them. Hit that quick slant at the top of the screen. Right there, boom. Ball needs to be out right here. Right here. I know you're looking right down the barrel of that defensive end, but you are 6'5" and you are jacked as hell. You work out every day. This is why. If you're not going to play like the large quarterback that you are, then you are not a good quarterback, right? Like, your assets are only assets if you use them. That's a routine throw, but the play before it that I was bitching about, that is a negative sack on Levis, his fault. Had a receiver open. Yes, it was a quick pressure, but he had the designed play on his fingertips. Here we got some mesh. Good job to throw the mesh. Great job by Tremaine Edmonds to make the tackle in space. Another routine throw. This is a killer as well. All right, here's the rollout. You got a deep throw. You have a deep throw to Ridley. Hit it. But it's hard to hit it when J.C. Latham is getting destroyed yet again. How many fucking times am I going to have to say J.C. Latham? He lost about half of his reps in pass block or pass pro in this game, and that is disgusting. Terrible showing from the first round pick. I believe he will be a bust. This game confirms that to me. Ridley is open deep. Levis is not able to get the ball to him because he is hit. And in fact, watching this live, I graded that as a sack that I'm blaming Levis for. Upon further review, he had one open receiver on this play. He stops and sets his feet to hit him. He didn't expect that he would have no blocking whatsoever from his left tackle. That is a neutral sack. That is not his fault. The fumble is his fault. You have to be aware of your surroundings a little. And the release being so slow and wound up is why the ball was stripped out. But that is a neutral sack. That is Latham's fault, not Levis's. There, good throw. Nice. Very nice. That's a solid throw. Another routine throw. Frankly, I think it was a little bit better than just routine, but got to be a little harsh. It was only 4 yards. Come on. I have been deprived of good quarterback play in week 1, so I'm fighting the urge to be a little generous just because I've been so unimpressed. Speaking of unimpressed, this is the worst play of the week, one of the worst plays of the season in week 1. Right here, Will Levis is sacked, and it's not his fault. Let's see who blew the protection again. Oh, would you look at that? It's J.C. Latham yet again. He's not playable. He's not playable. This is Ike Ekwonu level unplayable tackle play. I would bench J.C. Latham tomorrow if I was Brian Callahan. The problem is they don't have any good offensive linemen. That's honestly best solution. Swap Skoronski and Latham. Make Skoronski play tackle, make Latham play guard. I swear to God, it would be a superior option. But given that your terrible left tackle is getting you sacked, Will Levis, take the sack. You are up by a point. Your defense has been lights out all day. The Bears' offense can't move the ball. They have passed for less than a football field. Just fuck it, dude. Just let it die. And instead, he won't give up on the play. He tries playing hero ball despite being in the catbird seat with a lead, and a throwaway turns into a pick. And it has to be a pickable ball, because even though he was intending to throw the ball away, he did such a terrible job that it resulted in a touchdown for the wrong team. That's a terrible, unforgivable, terrible play. And it's not because he doesn't have the talent, and it's not because he can't process. It's not because he can't play quarterback. It's because he panicked in a situation that did not require panic. So now Will Levis is trying to drive with the game on the line, and he's clearly hurt, as evidenced by how long it took him to get up after that small neutral run. Here's a bad throw. 1-2, top of the drop. Here's what he's looking at when he's making the throw. It's very hard to anticipate how Ridley is going to beat this double team, and he doesn't do a very good job. He misses high. I would say you should hold on to the ball. I would say you should roll out and buy some time because nobody won the route. But I understand that it's hard to do so on third down with a bad back and a worse offensive line. So Will Levis has another chance to try to win the game, and he's getting crunched as he drops back. Look at this. Crunched. 1, 2, 3. Here's the top of his drop. Right through the middle. This time, it's the right guard who's getting beaten like a drum. That's a backup, by the way. Backup right guard. Will Levis, he's letting go of this ball. Nobody's even remotely open. That's excellent anticipation. He's throwing while getting smoked. Look at him get ragdolled there by that defensive tackle. The ball is very accurate. It is 20 yards downfield. That is a great throw. And that's the exact kind of thing that got me so excited about Will Levis coming out of Kentucky and in 2023. Great throw, plus pocket movement for throwing while being crunched. Very, very nice. The problem is nothing's really working outside of Will Levis making a great throw while getting crunched. The pocket is collapsing almost immediately. Nobody's really getting open spectacularly. The offense is not smart enough. The offensive scheme is not smart enough to compensate for how bad the offensive line is. And were the offensive line decent, I think that this would be a pretty decent, if not good, scheme. But it's not. So it's not. This play, they've already spoken about it in press conference. Clean pocket, crisp throw, accurate. Ridley was supposed to break this off into a back shoulder comeback. He didn't. The ball is perfectly thrown. That is arguably a great throw. In fact, I would say that is definitely a great throw. But the receiver runs the wrong route. Nothing Will Levis can do on that. Receiver ran the wrong route. And that would have been game changing. That would have put them at least near field goal range. Routine throw, but the play doesn't work. Right? It gets sniffed out right away. Because what the hell is this play design? You've got a blocker, a tiny curl right where the flat is supposed to be running to. And I guess they're hoping that like turns into a pick block, but Jalen Johnson doesn't give a fuck about your pick block. He is going to blow up the tight end. All right. Pressure in his face again. Off his back foot because he's about to be crunched again. Look at Skoronski and the center run into each other here. You got your left guard on the ground underneath your center's feet and a defensive tackle bisecting your quarterback. That is dreadful. And Levis throws a deep ball, and it's not deep enough because he's getting crunched. Yes, it's pickable. I'm giving him plus pocket movement for throwing while being sliced in half by his shoulder, and that's going to be the game. A lot of unfortunate shit happened in this game on offense, special teams, and even defense. Let's start talking about what exactly we think this means for Will Levis. So, on the day, we have Will Levis with no elite throws. He was 0 for 2 deep, and both of those would have been elite throws if he hit them, and we expected him to hit them because deep accuracy was supposed to be Will Levis's bread and butter. It was last year, and we didn't get to see a ton of it in college just due to terrible offensive line and bad receivers. And that terrible offensive line thing reared its head today, but he had the chances. He had clean enough pockets with open dudes downfield, and he didn't make the throws. They were tough throws, but he's supposed to be able to make them. And if he can't, it takes away like all the reward, leaving me with only the Will Levis risk. Speaking of risk, he had 3 interceptable balls and a fumble. Now, the fumble, it's tough. What are you going to do? Backside, rusher, terrible blocking from your left tackle, guy open on a streak downfield. You need just a half a second to get the ball to him and make a game-breaking play, and you didn't get that chance. So it's a fumble, and it's bad, and his release and his windup is why it happened. But not the most blameworthy of fumbles. The 3 picks, one of them was a throwaway. I don't think that Will Levis is going to have a bad habit over the course of his career of accidentally throwing interceptions for touchdowns on throwaways. So while we have to ding him for it because it was a terrible decision, I don't think that will be something that carries forward. I'd be shocked if we ever saw it again, frankly. One of the picks was while getting cut in half by a defensive tackle. You just saw it. In crunch time, playing hero ball, right? He needed that deep throw to keep the Titans in the game. So he didn't really have a huge choice. I think it was a lot more forgivable than a typical interception. And then the third interceptable ball was just a terribly thrown deep ball. It was pickable. It was an arm punt. It was terrible. There's no excuse. That is definitely projectable going forward. He underthrew the hell out of a deep ball. That's bad. Other than that, 74% accuracy. It's pretty decent. As many positive plays as negative. The problem is just the risks outweighed the rewards, right? He had 4 turnover-worthy plays. Yes, having 7 inaccurate throws is not bad at all. 74% is very accurate. But when half of your inaccurate throws are interceptable, you better be hitting some bombs, Josh Allen style. And he didn't. And that's the whole problem. Ton of pocket movement, 13 plus pocket movements on 31 dropbacks. Yeah, the offensive line was terrible. We established this. He was under siege all day. J.C. Latham shouldn't be playing left tackle right now. Like I said during the video, I think you should switch Skoronski and Latham. Let Skoronski play tackle like he did in college. Let Latham play guard because he just isn't athletic enough. I understand that Skoronski's got short arms, but Latham is fat and slow and weak. Put him at guard. It's the only way to salvage him, I believe. I think Latham would be a good guard. I think he's a bad left tackle. Originally, I gave him a D- for this game, But after going back and watching the All 22, I'm a lot less pessimistic. I think a C minus is probably appropriate, but I'm boosting him a full letter grade just because A, I didn't understand how good a couple of his throws were. I upgraded two of his throws upon watching the All 22. B, I didn't recognize that he was processing really well, actually. Like, for the most part, he was making great decisions, aside from his reckless interception that lost the entire game, which you have to count. And it's why I kind of want to make it a D plus. I'm torn. But generally, there was a lot to like. You know, if Will Levis plays this caliber of game and avoids the catastrophic pick six while throwing the ball away and avoids you know, the fumble that wasn't really his fault or the interception at the very end of the game that was a desperation interception, I think you're looking at a pretty decent performance and a certain win against a team the caliber of the Bears. So it's kind of tough. I'm going to give him a C minus. I really am. I don't think it was that bad. Especially in the first half before he got hit and obviously hurt his back. Now he needs to stop running and hurting himself. The offensive line needs to get a lot better. He needs to fix that deep ball immediately to be the kind of quarterback I think he should and will be. But a lot of my optimism on Will Levis has been restored by this All 22 review, and I don't think he was that bad. Let's go D plus. Let's go D plus just because I was optimistic on him. We got to be a little harsher than usual, and he did throw 3 fucking pickable balls. So, Will Levis, D minus, or D plus, still plenty of room for optimism. Still plenty of reason to think that the Titans can bounce back if they figure out their offensive line. Maybe Bill Callahan does some in-season work to get these guys up to snuff, but I don't know. It looked really bad against not the best defensive line in the Bears. Stay tuned on PBFG tomorrow. I will probably be thinking a lot about my full season evaluation on the Titans. But for now, no reason to panic on Will Levis. Yet. Till next time, I'll be grinding film. Asta.